staff of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. I know that our mandate is to promote non-oil exports in Nigeria, and particularly in the state here, being the trade promotion advisor of the state, major responsibility is to promote non-oil exports in Cross River State. And as you know, Cross River State is in a vantage position to be a leading state in terms of non-oil exports. Cross River State is a state that is strategically located around the Gulf of Guinea, having borders with other nations, you know, even with the Atlantic Ocean. And at the same time, Cross River State has all the three means of international trade: water, the air, having an international export, and the land borders with the neighboring countries. So we are at a vantage position to promote non-oil exports.
Right.
And that we'll be doing here, and we're actually looking forward to having the opportunities and the infrastructure here. But I want to tell you that with our recent experience, like you mentioned, looking at the various facilities that we saw, the visit of the board member gave us an opportunity to actually go around and have an assessment of the facility, of the readiness of the state to go into non-oil export.
Can you tell us what you saw? Because we want to know, what did you see?
Okay.
Did you see camels flying on the wings? Or, I mean, is it real?
Okay,
These
fine.
factories,
In our tour, we've been to the city park, that is the production park, where you have the rice mill, the industrial park, the Cross River State Industrial Park, where you have the rice mill, the nursery in particular, and then where you have the garment industry, Cross River State garment industry, where you have the pharmaceuticals, and also the noodles production factory. And I must tell you, we were amazed with what we saw. I've been in Calabar for about 8 months now, and I had the impression that nothing works there. So the narrative has been, it's a moribund factory, whatever you see there is moribund. But we were shocked. And surprisingly, we never actually scheduled a visit. The visit became so
they
impromptu.
didn't know, so it's not like
we
they
never
got themselves
them because
prepared.
it was not part of our itinerary.
Okay.
But we never believed anything was happening there, so we didn't actually add it as part of our itinerary. We actually paid a courtesy call to the Honorable Commissioner, and while we were with her, she actually also advised that we see Commissioner for Commerce.
Right.
That we also see the Commissioner, our counterpart in the industry, the Commissioner for Industry. And by the time we called him, he was at his factory, garment factory. So when we got to the garment factory, we saw heads of people with sewing machines, production going on, and we were amazed. You mean such factories do exist in Cross River State? So he actually told us that not only the garment factory that does exist, over there across the road also has the rice nursery. Initially we saw heads, we actually thought they were just like maybe empty land, until we felt, okay, out of curiosity,
or trailer parks.
we also wanted to see for ourselves what was going on there. So we left the garment factory, we crossed over to the other side, saw the nursery, we were amazed production was going on. It was demonstrated before us. And we were not also, just to also cry it up, from there we went to the noodles processing factory.
Yeah.
And to our amazement, we saw the machines rolling out noodles.
In Calabar here.
In Calabar here.
Calabar has its own noodles processing factory. That's what we just want to make sure.
Yes, I think what the name is called there, we saw the name, although they are still trying to perfect the branding.
Yeah.
We saw the production going on.
Kisime
Kisime
noodles. Yeah.
That's what we saw.
So please, I think I want to actually also appeal, because I might also be one of those who also believe that nothing is working. You know that I actually went there.
Damien,
I think the press need to do more.
I will stick with you on that. Why is it important that these factories, all of them, why is it important that Cross Riverians should key in? Because we're talking about non-oil exports, and that is what the governing board member here is talking about. Now let's bring it back to you. You're a trade advisor, so you can give business advice on this. Why is it important that Cross Riverians should not just view this as, they shouldn't be blase about it? Why should they be serious about this?
Okay, now, what we are promoting is not just promoting non-oil exports. we are promoting the export of value-added products, because you actually earn more when you export value-added products.
Yeah.
Products with high value addition, processed products. And that is why we are so excited with the move of the state government to set up processing plants. We know that the state is one of the major producers of cocoa beans. We've been exporting raw cocoa over the years.
True.
And we actually, you know what happens when you export raw materials. You're actually exporting your labor, you're exporting a lot of job creations and all other things that actually should come along with them. And you get less revenue.
True.
Because you can actually compare the price of a finished chocolate with that of a cocoa beans. So we are looking at encouraging export of value-added products. So when the state government is actually coming up with processing facilities, there is one actually with what we discovered here now, we have actually had to schedule a visit to ICOM to visit the rice processing mill at ICOM and also see for ourselves.
The cocoa processing factory.
Sorry, the cocoa processing factory at ICOM.
Yeah.
So that you will know that these factories are actually working. So the good thing is this, it actually builds a foundation to actually start the export of value-added products, processed products. Now we are not talking about exporting just rice, we're talking about exporting noodles, a finished product. So please, what we are talking about is that if we're able to do this, we are ready to capture, apart from the Gulf of Guinea, we are working into taking good advantage of AFTA, the African Free Trade Area.
So
Okay.
let me come to Mr. Joseph. It's been said, allegedly, that Cross River State has this tax-driving thing about it. Businesses don't thrive in Cross River State because of taxations and all of that. Now, how are you going to ensure that people who put in their time, energy, and effort to ensure that these industries work will have a return for their money?
Well, tax is a local issue. In export business, we export without tax.
Because we're dealing with foreign exchange now.
In export business, we make sure we are not struggling with taxation and all that. When you are, for instance, export can be done from what we call the customs territory, like producing in the Ayade Industrial Park. They'll go out, and you can also produce at the Calabar Free Trade Zone, like those companies there. They are also doing it right. For instance, it's not only the industrial park, the Ayade Industrial Park, that you may have had issues. The Calabar Free Trade Zone is assumed to also not be producing.
Yeah.
When we visited there yesterday, we discovered that at least 10 companies are still exporting to different countries.
10 companies.
To China, to Ghana.
From Calabar here.
To the Calabar Free Trade Zone. Some companies are producing there and they are exporting. So let me tell you how these things work. It's not a speculative thing. As somebody with media background, it behoves the enlightenment people, the team, not propaganda team this time. I mean, that's why I use the word particularly enlightenment people, to be factual. For instance, when we have visited the Ayade Park yesterday, and I saw unexpectedly, in fact, they didn't want to allow us in except that the PA to the commissioner who said we can go there, call the commissioner, and they instructed them that they should allow us that it was an emergency.
Probably they were expecting.
And we're going, the machines were rolling. So I told my people to record it. You don't tell people a story as if they are bound to believe. But when people see the machinery recorded from production to delivery and they see the things rolling down, and you have a marketing outlet, and the products are put there, no matter how small the showroom is. So I think it's not a big issue. There's no need talking about it. Since the products are here, I ask them, why are the products not on the market? They are, I think, working towards a full launch because of the normal December kind of activity here. So they said before the year is out, they want to launch all of them like that and have places where people can go see them. So the chicken, they said that one people know already that happened before. But these noodles, the rice stuff, seedlings, the garments, somebody needs to do the video part of it. It doesn't need to, you don't need too much description. Like I said, in Calabar Free Trade Zone, I happen to have been a member of the governing board of the NEPC, Nigerian Export Processing Authority, for quite a number of years. It's 2005. So I'm actually very versed in issues that concern export. So what you do here is that when you are dealing with exports, there are incentives that kill these issues of tariffs and taxes.
Okay.
For instance, if you are producing in the Calabar Free Trade Zone, you don't pay any tax. You don't bring the goods in without the raw materials in without paying tax. You know, when you are exporting, you don't pay tax. There's nothing like export levy in this country.
Okay.
So if a product is designated for export, it cannot be taxed. So that's why we are talking about export. But if you are doing other things, local things, then you have to be a good citizen and pay. But for export, we do things, we don't recognize tax. Tax is afraid of us. So, right, frankly speaking, the Cross River State, let me move into the main issue that the masses would like to understand. Everything you see here from the farm, the cocoa, the palm oil, the cassava, especially around the coastal areas here, that you see the shrimps and prawns, they are all exportable. The smoked fish, virtually everything. The afang, the edita, and all these things, all you need to know is how to cultivate them for export. And for farming products, you need to know that it's not enough to have the land. When you have the land for you to start, there should be partnerships with the soil nutritionists and all that, the soil specialists. They have to test the soil and make sure all the acidities and those things that will impact on products don't exist.
So what can be done about informing people on how they can actually prepare their products? Those who are by the waters, harvesting shrimps and all that. How can they begin to learn how to process for export?
They have to learn by contacting the Nigerian Export Promotion Council office at your entire house. Once anybody gets the NEPC, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, that is where it is happening. Once you get there, you are being guided. Actually, we have been having training for people.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
We have been having training. Mr. Osas will tell you, they've been having nationwide. If there is anything the Nigerian Export Promotion Council has done, it is capacity building for the staff and capacity building for exporters nationwide. I don't think a week passes where you won't have series of trainings across the country. Even not only sometimes we partner and with other organizations like SMEDAN, and we bring all the stakeholders. So trainings are going on, and you need to do that, know that by going to ask the question. Any other thing, and moreover, do you know, we were also surprised that the state has an Export Promotion Bureau.
It does.
Which is like the equivalent of NEPC at the national level. So we had to also, on emergency, visit that place. I met the Director General, Mr. James.
James Alicha.
James Alicha. We met him, and we were so pleased. I told him he is the one that holds the mantle now, and he must use it by liaising with the Export Promotion Council for all trainings.
I'm concerned, sir, because, it seems as though cross-riverians are not really conscious of these opportunities. Am I speaking truth? Have you seen a massive turnout at the AII house to come out and receive knowledge? Because no one seems to really be talking about this. This should be a thing. We have the rice mill, we have cocoa in abundance. But no one is really talking about this. Why so?
Well, let me say this. Before my man here will tell you about what he experiences on ground.
Okay.
But let me say, that's why I was trying to emphasize that many things are happening. My man has told me that even coffee is being grown in Ikom area.
Yeah.
And
Coffee.
Yes.
And then they are looking at expanding it to Obudu for the temperate side. Virtually everything you think you are eating here is needed somewhere. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area means that you should shift these things to other countries. You have the facilities in Calabar. The Calabar port, people say it's not working. But I was there yesterday, and I was amazed to hear the number of ships that come in. If somebody doubts that, then somebody is a simple request from the port manager. How the ship movements, how many ships came this time, how many are you expecting in the next 1 month? From there you will know, and you cannot what you want to put in the ship. Then you go to Calabar Free Trade Zone, what are you producing? You see, I see a product like Skyron refrigerators, Skyron washing machines. They are from Calabar Free Trade Zone. People who see in the marketplace it's produced in Calabar. And not many may know Skyron unless you look at it very well. You see Skyron is produced here. But customs have also briefed us. They have their reports, like quarterly reports that they give. So for you to know what is really happening here, you can get them. Customs can give the information. They are open to everybody. They want somebody.
Yeah.
And then also, we have looked at the issue that they said ships don't come.
Yeah.
It's a lie. We got to the port. There are two ways to ship goods into the ship. Either the ship comes to the port to berth, if it's all kinds of ships, or you use barges. So while I was discussing with the port people, I was suggesting they should start using barges. They said they have already been mandated. They have already started. They went like exporting of clinkers, they used that to move. So if the big ships don't come, if the big ship does not anchor at the time, you can take barges and take products to the ship at the Atlantic or even in Lagos. So so the Calabar port is functioning.
Will that also bear a cost on the person who is exporting? If you're exporting in barges, would you?
No, what is happening is business. So you do discounts.
Okay.
So they have concessions. In the export sector, there is so much incentive. You know, this man used to be in the incentives department in the headquarters. So he's here as trade advisor. So he's also well versed in what we mean by incentives. Let me give you a particular incentive. I came here, I told the stakeholders at the State Committee on Export Promotion, where palm oil associations, all kinds of associations were there with the State Commissioner for Commerce presiding. I told them my mission here is to challenge everybody. Where is your product? Export is not talk shop. It is not workshop. It is the workshop in export is the production factory. Where is your product? Even as you sit here, you can have products by encouraging people in their locality to produce, and you introduce them to NEPC.
Okay, due to time, please, let's get to know what's happening on ground.
Yes.
The awareness, I'm hearing coffee for the first time, being honest, and the response. What exactly is a response like from Cross Riverians? And if it's low, what's the challenge?
Okay, fine. We want to actually state the fact that Cross Super State is a state that is being on the export table. As you are aware, Cross River State is the second largest producing state of cocoa beans after Ondo State. So around the region of Ikom, you have a lot of export activities of cocoa beans over there. And before now, Cross River State used to be a major producer and exporter of crumb rubber, where we have the facilities here. But recently, we're actually experiencing dearth of processing facilities for crumb rubber, even though they still have the plantations. So when we came in, we looked at that as part of our activities of Nigeria Export Promotion Council Calabar Export Assistant Office to review the product, because now the council has seen the need for subnational entities to be part of promoting exports. It's not just the responsibility of the federal government. So that was actually the essence of actually establishing offices in various states of the federation. And Calabar, being very strategic, was also considered as part of the states. So the office was set up to promote products within the state.
The response to that promotion, what's it been like?
Well, when we came in, we had to work with the state government, and then we reviewed the products. We agreed that apart from cocoa, our traditional product, there was need for us to add other products. So we've actually started promoting palm oil palm products, where we are aware that there've been also some export of palm kernel and other derivatives. So we also decided to also include cassava as a major producing state of cassava. Then we are also looking at recently including coffee. And that intervention have started actually yielding results. In trying to increase the production of cocoa beans, we gave out 1,500 seedlings of cocoa beans, of cocoa seedlings recently at ICOM. And we started the campaign on why people should also plant coffee and people should start developing, increasing the production of oil palm. As I speak, we already have about 10 hectares of coffee being planted in around ICOM ASICs.
Yeah, Damien, let me come in there. How does that man down ICOM, is he aware that he can take his cocoa bean and export? Now, let's leave cocoa out of it because we have an industry in the state that needs to feed on the cocoa merchants need to feed. Let's talk about coffee. How does that man harvesting or planting coffee, knows? What does he know about exporting it? How does the woman down in Bakassi fishing or the crayfish trader in Akpabio, how is she made to be aware that she has the capacity to export, to be termed an exporter of this particular product? In as much as we are trying to reduce, pushing our things out there and be a state that produces what it eats, how can we also help these people to know that there is more beyond selling it in what market, selling it at Marian market?
Well, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council Calabar Export Assistant Office has been doing a lot of sensitization on that. We've organized several workshops and seminars. We've been to ICOM, we've been within even Calabar here. We've been to various farmers to enlighten them. And as you can know,
Through the
associations, we have met with many of them.
Okay.
Cooperatives, they are organized in form of cooperatives, they are organized in form of associations, and we've had meetings in August specifically. We had a meeting of all stakeholders in Cross River State at the Professor Eyoita Hall, Obodo Hall in Professor Eyoita House, where we met with all stakeholders in the state, in the agricultural value chain.
Okay.
We have association, all farmers association members were there. We have cassava growers associations that were there. We have the oil palm growers association, they were there. The cocoa and plantain farmers association, they were out there. The Cocoa Association of Nigeria, we invited all of them from ICOM and other ASICs of the state, from the 3 seminars. We had a stakeholders meeting.
So why are they not exporting?
No, let me come in there. Everybody or every producer cannot be an exporter.
Okay.
It is not the woman at Bekasi or in one farm somewhere that is expected to export the products. Export is a high-tech business. So what we do, we segment those who are producing for export. If you are farming for export, you have to have a training on how to farm for export. Because you don't just go have a farm, get there, put some crops, and put some fertilizers, pick anyone you see and put there and say it's for export. It doesn't work that way. So people who must export are properly trained. And that means if you are going to farming, like I was trying to mention, when you get the soil, the land, you have to get the soil treated so that all the impediments of the soil, all the acidities and all that will be killed. You don't pick just any fertilizer. If it is organic, you don't need certain things. The pesticides, the herbicides, they must all be different. That's why we used to say, because of food subsidy, as some people will say, we don't have enough to eat, we want to export. If you have 5 hectares of land, you farm 4 for your food subsidy, as you like. Use 1 hectare to farm for export. At the end of the year, you are going to see that you make more money from the export farm than the other. Why do I say no? Everybody is not supposed to be an exporter. We have what we call export merchants. The beginning of wisdom is to get to Export Promotion Council at your house and seek out to be registered with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Once you have been registered, you are being called every moment there is something. And so before you discover, the export merchants can finance the farmer to farm for him. He provides the inputs. You also look at the other person who is just manufacturing, small scale. Somebody will, export merchants will assist. Most importantly, let me tell you that we have export trading houses now established abroad. In August, I was in Kenya. We opened the export trade house for Nigeria. We've opened in Togo. We've opened in South Africa now, and in Egypt. We are heading to US, Dubai, India, China. So whatever products you do, if you don't have the quality, NEPC will help you. We at the headquarters now, we are trying to make sure if we like your products, it's good enough, we can now even assist you to get the NAFDAC, SON, NICET, HALA, all kinds of certifications. We'll help you to get it. And then that the products will now be taken to the export trade houses abroad. So over here we have missed opportunities. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council got 50 billion naira last year and shared to so many organizations and companies. Not many believed it was true. That's why I think in this state I only hear about 2 companies were able to get, because people did not believe it. It's not only these states, so many states in the south did not believe. So the money had finished, and we're looking for money again. If a person is not in the list, he might miss out. Right. The Cross River has all it takes. What we are coming to do now is to drive export from the north through the Ecom, since the bridge is now a new bridge. Yeah. We are driving them to bring their products here. We are driving the people to the southeast to come to Calabar and use the port through with barges and all this. So if the people here are not doing, they are losing out. One other thing you need to know is that if you don't mobilize your products and export from here, the outsiders will come mobilize their products from here and go and export, and they put Lagos and put Port Harcourt and put Kano. And when we are going to say let's compensate states based on what they export, the people will have use their product and have the incentive, and you won't have.
True.
So we have told the state government, since they have a state bureau of export, an agency for export, they should look at it. It's not a matter of taxes, but they should be sure that products, exportable products that live here, are properly documented as coming from here.
Okay, quick one before we let you go there this morning. A lot of things have been happening, especially when it has to do with the Cross River State industries and other exportable goods. But one thing that stands out is the fact that the state government came out to say, look, we are not giving out these industries, but we are entering a private partnership with whoever comes on board. Why is it important that this is done? Because so many people don't seem to understand what PPPs stands for.
No, that is the way to go. That's the way to go.
It's a commendable way to go.
It's the way to go. It's not just, that's why I was talking about even privately.
Yeah.
That for you to get products produced to your standard, you may not be the producer, you're a merchant. You have to have a contract. You call the other one contract manufacturer. Okay. You have a contract farmer. So even in that, between companies and companies, you have to be partners. So what government has to do is to ensure that the companies are not tinkered by politicians. We have experience. You hope the Nigerian Airways was there. People will fly free. It shouldn't be so in the industry. The production export business is a matter of quality and delivery, regular delivery. If the factory cannot produce and deliver on a contract that has been signed, you may have to pay so many millions of dollars penalty over there.